Okay, we're going to do that Google search again. We're going to look at another website. We did the Mayo Clinic on another video. We're going to look at solutions coming from Colgate themselves. They're here on my list as 10 dry mouth home remedies for oral care, and that comes from Colgate themselves. Please take a look at all these sites. They define dry mouth. They have somebody that's talking about things here. So the first thing they recommend here is water. So they looking at it as a dehydration event, and so drink more water. So I would take it one step further than just drinking water, because it's in your oral environment. You're just going to fill up like a balloon with water. You don't want to do that. So take the water, or like a sippy amount of water, and just swish it around. Your salivary flow isn't gunning, gallons or liters and liters of water. It's basically spewing out small amounts all the time, keeping it flush with water and moisture. And more importantly, it's maintaining a pH that should be 7 or above, not an acidic pH, which is below 7. So the water flow is always to maintain the pH of your mouth is more important over time, as well as rinsing food and things away. The rinsing and the calcium, the minerals, and the pH matter a lot. That's pretty much everything right there that salivary flow does. So small amounts of water, but just rinse your food away, and more importantly, rinse after you eat or as you're eating. Rinse that food away as soon as you can. The next one they have is sugar-free sucking candies, and the one after that is sugar-free gum. I see those as two of the same thing. The sugar-free part is an absolute must. You do not want to be adding sugar, because you're going to be feeding the bacteria that create acids that cause decay. You don't want that, so you have to have sugar-free. Now, when you eat the gum helps because it helps pull food out of your teeth, which is one of the points of chewing gum. The candy, not so much, but what the candy does is actually help stimulate, just like the gum does, stimulate your salivary flow. So depending on the range in which your dry mouth is at, you can be at a very severe level. These probably won't help that much. If you're a moderate to light dry mouth patient, maybe you're taking one cardio med or something like that, you will get a lot of benefit from using these two techniques. As top one is the water one. So the next one is decaffeinated beverages. You certainly don't want to be having as much caffeine there. You definitely want to stay away, because that helps dry your mouth as well. And a lot of the caffeinated beverages we have, of course, coffee. People put a lot of sugar in there. Try to use a sugar-free additive, but also I recommend putting some milk or something to buffer the pH of that coffee, tea, or anything that has an acidic pH. Most things do have acidic pH when you're drinking, especially something like orange juice or something like that. Oh my God, that's sugar as well as a very low pH. It's citric acid spewing directly onto your teeth. That's really harsh. Here they say breathe through your nose again. That's a Mayo Clinic thing too. Yeah, if you can do that on a regular basis, that's one of those human habit things. I just don't know how practical that is for people. I've never recommended it, but I also know that would be troubling for me to kind of think about, do I breathe through your mouth or the nose all day long, Use a humidifier. I'm not a big fan of that one, only because you're only in your room for so long. And a lot of people fall asleep on the couch, or they fall asleep in the living room or something like that. So how cumbersome and how useful is that? Probably not too much. It kind of goes up there with breathing through your nose. Quit smoking. I don't even have to talk about that one. If you know any of my videos, I'm pretty anti-smoking anyway. You probably have bigger problems with smokers problems anyway. So absolutely stop the smoking. You probably have more health issues around it than worrying about the decay in your teeth. But it will definitely add to dry mouth for sure. Alcohol-free mouth rinses, absolutely. Alcohol in general will desiccate your mouth. It'll dry things out. You do not want to be doing that. Fluoridated toothpaste, absolutely. You got to have fluoride in the toothpaste. If you're anti-fluoride, it's going to be more challenging to remineralize your teeth. It doesn't mean that you need to have the fluoride for antibacterial purposes, but you should have fluoride for the surfacing of your enamel, making your enamel stronger and more resistant against the acid attack. And that's the best way to do it. If you don't believe in having fluoride and you think that that's a negative for you, then I would be looking at something more that has maybe a stronger antibacterial component, and that's about all you could do. There's not too much outside of that range. And it says to remember to floss daily. I would say more than just that. I would say at least 3, 4, 5 times a day. Anything you can do to kind of get the food moving out of your oral environment, because that's what your salivary flow actually tries to do. Think of it as the Mississippi. The Mississippi River is flowing down and it's constantly moving and changing and taking things downstream. Picture the Mississippi gone dry now. Everything's going to stop in the wake. It's going to get stuck on the shores. It's going to get stuck somewhere. So it's just going to be polluting along the river more and more as the Mississippi River goes down. And that's what your mouth is doing. The more dry mouth you have, the less flow down the big pipe that you want, right? It needs to be rinsing away. So that's why smaller amounts of water on a more frequent basis. Flossing's great. Flossing, there's 3 twos that I say, always is the standard of care, is brush twice a day, floss twice a day, and see a dentist twice a year. Now, you want to up that. You want to brush more often, so 3, 4, 5 times a day. You want to floss 3, 4, 5 times a day. And whether or not you want to see a dentist more than 2 times a year, that would be up to you and your dentist at that point. So up the ante. These are all valid, but some are not as practical as others. The simple ones, like I say, is simping water, fluoridated mouth rinses that are non-alcohol containing, and fluoridated toothpaste, and just up your cleaning IQ for your mouth will definitely take you a long way for that. Think about modulating the pH. Anything that you take in that's acidic, try to avoid acidic drinks and things like that. So stick to waters and sugar-free type of drinks. I like Hint and things like that. So stick with those and should help you a lot.